Hello, students. Today I'm going to introduce the first read of Ramayana to you and talk about a little bit about its background and its cultural significance. Let's first begin with our learning objectives. Our learning objective is, after an initial reading and discussion of the poem, students will be able to monitor comprehension as they read in order to identify key events and the plot and character details. All right, let's go through some of these tabs and then I'm going to give you some further background information into this text. So, the introduction starts off: one of the great epics of India, the Ramayana existed for years in oral tradition before the Hindu sage and poet Valmiki recorded the story in verse sometime around the 5th century BCE. So basically, this was a story that had been told by generations, passed down orally. We don't know for how long. And eventually, in around the 5th century BCE, that means BC times, before Christ, uh, this very, very important Hindu sage, Valmiki, created an epic poem out of the story, and that's what you're reading a portion of. It says, a vast tale of intrigue, ferocious battles, and the triumph of good over evil. The Ramayana serves as an integral part of the Hindu canon. This means like Hindu scriptures. And its many versions continue to shape cultures and societies worldwide. In the following excerpt, the poet Valmiki summarizes the general arc of the epic, from Rama's banishment at the hands of his father's wife, KK, to his battle with the demon Ravana and his ascension to the throne. So we're talking some really old themes here. Let's go ahead and go over to the vocabulary tab. Make sure that you are familiar with these terms before you begin reading the story. You do not have to complete the sample sentences over here, but at least complete the drag and drop so that these terms won't throw you on as you read the story. All right, let's go ahead and get into a little bit more background about this story before you read it. So, the Ramayana, as mentioned, is part of the Hebrew scripture. It's called the Itihasa, and it's a cornerstone of Hindu belief and Hindu text. It's also a key text in the Sanskrit oral tradition, and it's one of the most popular epics in the world. So this is Sanskrit writing right here, and Sanskrit poetry is a really important cultural, historical artifact from India. So the title Ramayana is reference to the poem's hero, Rama, and he's a widely worshipped Hindu deity, and you can see him in the picture here. And I think I have another slide with another picture as well. Yeah, so here he is being worshipped. And then there's been a lot of different versions of this story, both current. There's an anime movie that tells this story, as well as some pretty old ones, but they all basically tell the same story of this Hindu deity Rama. Again, he's widely worshipped and he's revered for his dignity and his courage. And the word Ayanam, so this is the last half of Ramayana, Ayanam, means moving or walking. And so the title can really be translated as the moving around or the walking of Rama, meaning on earth. So in this wandering in the story is both literal, as he physically wanders around the earth, as well as figurative. And it symbolizes the journey of the soul in the human world. So part of the reason why Ramayana has had such a lasting influence is due to its universal themes. The poem brings to light the importance of morality, the vulnerability of human life, and the importance of avoiding temptation. Another important lesson illustrated by the poem is that knowledge can become a dangerous force when it's contaminated by desire or by selfishness. So keep those themes in mind as you are reading through the text. Let's go back to our lesson. So once you're done with reading, I would recommend making sure that you can answer these discussion questions that are going to be posted beneath this video. Either answer them yourself in your notebook or talk to a partner and make sure that you're clear with these, because this will really help you going forward. Here is a summary of the story. I would highly recommend reading this first, because since this story is set in poetic verse, it can be very difficult to understand. In fact, I would recommend reading it twice. Read the summary first, then read the poem, the at least the excerpt that we have here, which is called Canto 3, and then go back again and read the summary again so that you can make sense of what it is that you just read. You do have audio available if you would like to use it as well. There's also little explanations as you go out. Like, for example, under canto, if you pop that open, it says in medieval or epic poetry, one division or section of a longer poem was called a canto. So little definitions for unfamiliar things throughout. This is an image that depicts the story with a little bit of Sanskrit written above it. So that's kind of interesting to reference and see how this portion of the story matches up with that. Once you are finished reading the poem and the summary and feel like you've got a good grasp of it, then go ahead and pop over to tab 4 and take the reading quiz. There's only 5 questions on this one, so be thankful. If you have any questions at all as you're going through this, if you're lost or confused, then please feel free to reach out to me and we'll try to work through it together. All right, hope you enjoy this one.